Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Bill, and I'm so glad you're here with us today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah, your co-host. It's great to be with you again. We're super excited about today's topic. It's something that can really change the way you learn and use English every day.
That's right. Today's episode is called How to Think and Speak in Simple English. Whether you're a beginner or even at an intermediate level, keeping your English simple and clear is one of the smartest things you can do to improve your fluency.
Exactly. So many learners think they need big words and complicated grammar to sound fluent, but actually, native speakers use simple English all the time. It's easier to speak, easier to understand, and more effective for communication.
In this episode, we'll talk about why simple English is powerful, how you can start thinking in English, how to practice speaking simply, and how to build your confidence.
Plus, we'll do a little practice together, just you, me, and Bill, so make sure you stay with us until the end.
So, grab your coffee, tea, or whatever you like, and let's get started with some simple English. So, Sarah, how are you today?
I'm good, Bill, thank you. How about you?
I'm doing well, too. It's a sunny day here, and I feel happy.
That's nice. I like sunny days. Did you have your coffee this morning?
Oh, yes. I always start my day with coffee. Just 1 cup, simple and strong. What about you?
I had tea this morning. I like tea more than coffee. It helps me feel calm.
Tea is good, too. Do you usually eat breakfast in the morning?
Yes, I do. I had toast and eggs today. A simple breakfast, nothing special.
That sounds perfect. I had just some fruit, easy and light.
That's a good choice. It's great to keep things simple, even in daily life, right?
Exactly. And the same goes for English. Simple is powerful. Okay, let's now talk about why using simple English is such a good idea for learners.
Yes. Let's help our listeners understand why simple English is the smart way to speak.
All right, Sarah, let's get into it. So many English learners think they need big, fancy words to speak well. But that's just not true, right?
Absolutely, Bill. In fact, using simple English is often better than using complicated words. It helps people understand you clearly and quickly.
Exactly. And that's the goal of language, communication. If people understand you, that means your English is working.
Yes, and you know what? Even native English speakers use simple words in everyday life. We don't speak like a textbook or an academic article.
Right. For example, instead of saying, I am famished, most people just say, I'm very hungry. It's simple and clear.
Or instead of commence, people say start. Simple English is more natural.
Also, when you use simple English, you feel more confident. You don't need to stop and think about long or difficult words. You can speak more freely.
That's a big point, Bill. Confidence grows when speaking becomes easy, and simple English makes it easier.
Another reason to use simple English is that it's more flexible. You can use it at work, while traveling or talking with friends. It fits every situation.
Yes, it's perfect for daily life. When you go to a shop, talk to your teacher, or meet someone new, simple English helps you stay calm and clear.
And here's something interesting. Children grow up speaking simple sentences first. That's how they learn, step by step. It's the same for language learners.
Exactly. Learn like a child. Start simple, then grow naturally. No need to rush to complex grammar or long vocabulary lists.
So if you're listening and thinking, my English is too basic, don't worry. You are doing the right thing by keeping it simple.
Simple doesn't mean bad. It means smart. It means real. It means you're building a strong foundation.
All right. So now that we understand why simple English is so powerful, let's talk about how to train your brain to think in simple English.
Yes, that's the next big step, thinking in English before speaking it.
So now, let's talk about something super important. How to train your brain to think in simple English. Because speaking starts in the mind, right?
Yes, exactly. If you think in English, it becomes much easier to speak. But many learners still think in their own language and try to translate. That's slow and confusing.
Totally. Translation takes time, and sometimes it just doesn't work. That's why we say, stop translating. Start thinking in English.
So how do you train your brain? One simple way is to look around you and name the things you see in English.
Yes. Like if you see your phone, say in your mind, "This is my phone." Or if you're drinking water, think, "I drink water." Simple sentences, short and clear.
Exactly. Start with what you see, what you feel, and what you do. For example, I feel tired, or I walk to school.
Here's another tip. Use English in your daily thoughts. For example, when you wake up, say, "I am awake now," or "I will brush my teeth." You don't need to speak out loud, just think it.
Yes, it's like training your brain to make English your first reaction. And the more you do this, the faster it becomes automatic.
You can also try something fun. Talk to yourself in English while doing things. For example, when cooking, "Now I cut the tomato. Now I add salt."
That's a great method. And no one is judging you, you're just practicing. Even a few minutes every day can make a big difference.
Another great idea. Use simple sentence patterns. For example, I like underscore point, I like music. I go to underscore point, I go to work.
Yes, simple structures like this is places. I have. I don't like. Using these again and again helps your brain get used to English flow.
Also, don't worry about grammar at the beginning. Just focus on simple meaning. Say what you want, clearly and directly.
Exactly. Even broken English is okay while you're learning. The more you practice, the better your grammar will become naturally.
And here's a final tip. Listen to simple English every day. Your brain will start to copy the patterns you hear.
Yes, podcasts like this one, or videos for beginners, are perfect for that. Just keep listening and thinking in English as much as you can.
So, remember, name things around you. Think in short sentences. Talk to yourself. And use simple patterns. That's how you train your brain.
And soon your brain will stop thinking in your native language. It will start thinking in English.
All right, let's keep going. Now we'll talk about how to practice speaking simple English every day, even if you're alone.
Yes, you can do it right at home. We'll show you how next.
Right, so now that you're training your brain to think in English, the next step is daily speaking practice. And yes, you can do it even if you're alone.
That's right. A lot of learners say, I have no one to practice with. But the truth is, you can practice speaking by yourself, and it works really well.
Exactly. One great way is to describe what you're doing out loud. For example, while cleaning your room, you can say, "I clean the table." "I put the books on the shelf."
Yes! It's like talking to yourself, but in English. You can do this during your daily routine, brushing your teeth, cooking, walking, anything.
Another simple technique is to talk in the mirror. Just look at yourself and speak. It helps with confidence and fluency.
And you don't need long sentences. Try things like, I am happy today. I go to work. I make lunch now.
You can also record yourself speaking. Choose a simple topic, like my day or my favorite food. Speak for 1 or 2 minutes and listen to your recording.
That's a great idea. When you listen, you'll hear your own voice, and you'll notice where you can improve.
And don't forget shadowing. That means listening to a short sentence in English and repeating it right away, just like an echo.
Yes, you can use this podcast for shadowing. Just pause after each sentence and repeat what we say. It's fun and really helps your speaking muscles.
Also, reading out loud from simple English books or articles is great practice. It improves your pronunciation and helps you feel more confident.
You can even read your social media posts or text messages in English out loud. It's all good practice.
The key is this: make English part of your daily life. Even 5 or 10 minutes a day makes a big difference if you do it every day.
Yes, short and simple, but daily. That's how you build your fluency step by step.
All right? So we've talked about how to practice daily. Now let's move into some real-life conversation examples, using simple English, of course.
Yes! Let's show our listeners how to have easy and natural conversations using the tips we share.
Before we move into conversation examples, let's take a moment to talk about something important: common mistakes to avoid when using simple English.
Yes, because even when you're trying to keep it simple, there are still a few traps that can slow you down.
One big mistake is trying to translate everything from your native language. This can lead to strange sentences that don't sound natural in English.
Exactly. Instead, try to think in English, even if your sentence is very basic. Like, instead of thinking, how do I say this in English? Just think, what is the simple way to say this?
Another common mistake is using too many words. Some learners add extra words to sound more advanced, but it can confuse the listener.
Yes. For example, instead of saying, I am going to the place where I do shopping, just say, I'm going to the store. Shorter is clearer.
Another mistake is worrying too much about grammar. Of course, grammar is important, but don't let it stop you from speaking.
Right. Many learners pause too much because they're thinking about perfect grammar. But it's okay to make small mistakes. Focus on communication first.
Also, some learners try to memorize difficult words to sound smarter, but that often makes speech slow or unnatural.
Exactly. Use words you're comfortable with. Simple English is powerful when it's clear and natural.
So, to sum up, don't translate, don't overthink grammar, don't use too many words, and don't chase big vocabulary.
Keep it simple, speak with confidence, and focus on connection, not perfection.
All right. Coming up next, real conversation examples using simple English. Let's show how easy and effective it can be. Now, let's talk about something really important: confidence. Many English learners feel nervous or shy when speaking, especially if their English is simple.
Yes, and we want to say this loud and clear. Simple English is strong English. You don't need big words to speak with confidence.
Absolutely. Think about it. Most native speakers use simple sentences in daily life. Like, I need help. Can I sit here? What time is it? Short and clear.
And the goal of speaking is to communicate, not to impress. If people understand you, then you're doing great, even if your sentences are basic.
In fact, simplicity helps you speak faster and with fewer mistakes, and that builds confidence over time.
Here's a good mindset. Instead of saying, my English is not good, try saying, I speak simple English and I'm getting better every day.
I love that. Be proud of your progress. Every simple sentence you speak is a asteristical step forward.
And remember, Confidence doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from using what you know every day.
So speak simply, speak often, and speak proudly.
Coming up next, we'll answer some common questions from learners like you about speaking simple English.
All right, Sarah, let's show our listeners a simple practice dialogue. This will help them see how to use simple English in everyday conversation.
Great idea, Bill. Let's imagine two friends meeting at a cafe.
Hi, Sarah. How are you today?
Hi, Bill. I am good, thank you. How about you?
I am fine. What did you do this morning?
I went for a walk in the park. The weather was nice.
That sounds great. I stayed home and read a book.
What book did you read?
I read a book about simple English speaking.
That's interesting. I want to learn more English too.
Let's practice together every day.
Yes, practice makes perfect.
See? Simple sentences, short and easy to understand.
Listeners, try to practice this dialogue with a friend or even by yourself.
Exactly. Speaking regularly, even with simple words, builds your skills fast. All right, Sarah. Let's quickly recap what we talked about today.
Sure, Bill. We learned why simple English is powerful and how to train your brain to think in simple English.
Then we shared easy daily practices to help you speak more, even if you're alone.
We also talked about common mistakes to avoid and how to build confidence by keeping it simple.
Plus, we gave you a sample dialogue to practice.
Now, here's your action plan. Start small. Pick one simple sentence a day and say it out loud.
Practice thinking in English during your daily activities.
And don't worry about mistakes. Just keep speaking.
That's it. Keep it simple, keep it fun, and you'll improve every day.
Thanks for listening. See you next time on the English Learning Podcast.
Thanks so much for joining us today on the English Learning Podcast.
We hope you enjoyed learning how to think and speak in simple English.
Remember, every small step counts. Keep practicing and don't give up.
If you liked this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends.
And follow us on social media for more tips and updates.
See you next time, and